What's going on, everybody? It's Uncle Charlie, and we're here talking about Moon Knight. And you know what? I'm very excited for this series to come out on Wednesday. And I was reading up on the comic books. I have to be honest, I really haven't read a lot of Moon Knight comics. But since the announcement, and now that we're getting closer to the actual release, I've started picking it up more. And holy, what? It's so intense. There's like so many different comic book runs on it. You know, there's different story marks. So I'm reading the 2016 run by Jeff Lemire. I also pick it up on Marvel Unlimited app. We're not sponsored by any way to say that. Although, you know, Marvel, if you're watching, I got you. But let's get into it because there's a lot to take in. You know, I know with the series coming out, a lot of people are gonna be like, "Wait, who's this? Who's that? Like, how does this all kind of go in hand? Is it gonna be like the comics? Is it gonna be separate?" We do know it's gonna be indistinctive from the MCU, so it's gonna be on its own thing, kind of like the Netflix shows. So it's not gonna have. So don't expect to see anybody from the MCU. If we do, that would actually be really good to see, okay, how they're going to blend it in together, but I really don't have any expectations to see anybody else. Also, I haven't really been keeping up on all the leaks and stuff because I just like to go in blinded. I like to just watch the initial trailers, and that's it. But yeah, alright guys, so first appearing in Werewolf by Night, number 32 in 1975, we have Mark Spector, also known as Moon Knight, right? Born in Chicago, Illinois, Mark was a troubled kid from the past. I mean, since the beginning, you know, his parents have both left, and I think they died. He's got the same kind of backstory as Batman. They were killed, and he was an orphan. But except, he also started to develop interpersonal identity disorders. So he would have 5 different identities. One being Mark Spector, Moon Knight, Mr. Knight, the Fist of Khonshu, we'll get into that in a little bit, Jack Lockley, and Stephen Grant. So now we know in the MCU show that we're going to follow Stephen Grant. Stephen Grant is kind of the millionaire persona of Moon Knight. He's kind of the James Bond, you know, I'm going to create all my weapons, the almost the exact same as Batman. It's like the Marvel looked at DC and was like, I see what you did. Okay, I'm just going to, can I borrow your homework, but just change it a little? So, you know, Moon Knight has his own weapons, his own, like, he's got a moon helicopter, he's got crescent, he has crescent darts, a crescent throwing blade. But yeah, so we'll get into a little bit of that as well. But so he's also has, you know, a lot of different lives that he's lived. One is a mercenary, he's Mark Spector, so he really doesn't take one persona to heart. He kind of just swaps, I guess, in the from what I've been reading, in the midst of the moment, and he kind of just, you know, I need to be this guy, so I'm just going to change into that. So like I was saying, that, you know, Moon Knight has his own array of weaponry. We have his grappling hook, we have a throwing iron, the bracelet, the scarab dart, an unkin, and I'm totally mispronouncing all of that, and of course his boomerang. This is the old, you know, when he first appeared, this is the old imagery for it, but of course as time progresses everything gets kind of modernized. But I know with the Ankin, so which is this guy right here, all right, he can absorb his enemy's powers, so that's actually pretty cool. It's kind of like, you know, I'm gonna take that guy and I'm gonna hold him in here, you know. That's kind of the best way to put it. So we also know that he's an expert pilot. He's really great at hand-to-hand combat. You know, really good detective, and again, this is all from being a mercenary as Mark Spector. Well, when he was left for dead and he was found by Khonshu. So if you really get into the supernatural side of Moon Knight and you talk about his powers, he's got a lot of different powers that he invokes from being entwined with Khonshu, for more of a brain-to-brain contact. So Khonshu, the moon god, takes over Mark, and he's using him as his avatar. He's the Fist of Khanshu, kind of like Shazam, right? And so with that comes an array of different powers. He has resistance to telepathy. His brain is just, you know, systematically functioning at a higher level, right? Because he's above the human state. So he's got the mind of a god. He also has, you know, from what we've seen in his current runs, immortality. So far, Moon Knight's only been killed 3 times, and he's been revived each time from the runs that I've been reading. So, could be multiple. I don't know if there's a limit to that, but we really haven't seen, like, you know, how you have the death of Wolverine or the death of the Hulk. We really haven't seen him really kick the bucket just yet. If something happens to him, usually Khonshu's like, hey, come on, man, get up. And with that, he's also multilingual. So, he can speak English, Simkarian, and Arabic. Of course, you know, because if you're invoking the spirit of an Egyptian god, I would hope you would, you know, speak the same language. Or if he's not speaking English, to be able to translate, kind of like bilingual. Now, the only known weaknesses that Moon Knight has is significant brain damage, you know, from life of being Moon Knight and having a mental disorder of, you know, an identity disorder. Having a mental illness of an identity disorder, that seems to be his only weakness. If, you know, a enemy can prey on that and then can get him to swap lives, you know, he can have him think, well, no, you're not Mark Spector, you're actually Stephen Grant. You know, like what we're going to see in the MCU show, you know, how Stephen doesn't know he's Mark Spector, but Mark left clues for him. So I think we're gonna see some play on that. Now, like I said, similar to Batman, Moon Knight uses kind of the same Kevlar armor, real fit to his body. He can move around, fight. He doesn't have a Lucius Fox or an Alfred. He does have a guy named Frenchie, John Paul Frenchie Ducamp, and he kind of is his Alfred, helping him modify everything, get everything going. But he's also known to use adamantium armor. That means he's gone up against one of our favorites, Wolverine. You know, could be. That'd be interesting to see him go up against the X-Men. He also has these bracelets that mimic powers. Like, he has a bracelet that mimics web shooters, and another one that gives him claws almost as identical to Wolverine's adamantium claws. Now, if we're looking at the Spirit of Khanshu, we're really looking at, like I said, an Egyptian god, and in the 2016 run that I'm reading, Khonshu basically tells Mark he's an idiot. He tells him, well, you have a weak mind, and I took it over because I can. And Mark just kind of is like, okay, cool. You know, so Khonshu, being a being from another dimension, is able to transmit his consciousness into ours, which is how he takes over Mark's brain, if you will, to kind of connect to him. And if you're reading a lot of these comic books, you can also see like where there's moments where Mark's like, I can't do this. Like, I really just, you know, I can't. And then Khonshu's like, hey, everything's good. I got this. Just put my mask on and we'll fight this through. You can see the truth. But they're actually pretty good issues to read. And a part of, you know, working alone, he's also worked with the Secret Avengers and the Avengers. And he's gone up against, well, not against, but he's gone up with the West Coast Avengers. So he's got some team play there. There's also some rumors that the Midnight Suns could be coming to live action, because we have the Black Knight, we have Blade, you know, of course, Doctor Strange himself. We have multiple Ghost Riders. I really hope we get Nick Cage back. I really was a fan of that one. But I'll take Gabriel Luna too. But to have those guys meet up with Moon Knight and create the Black Suns, oh, that would just be perfect. Alright guys, so I really hope you enjoyed this kind of rundown look into Moon Knight, and if you really want to read some more on it leading up to the series, remember you can always get the Marvel Unlimited app, and there's a bit of a price on it. It's like $9 for $10 a month, $69 for the year, which I think is worth it. You have access to 28,000 comics. If you're interested in old runs, Golden Age, Modern Age, it's all there. I'm currently reading Dark Ages, and you know, you have to wait the same amount of time, like as if it's coming out, you know, single issues. So, but you have like by character, by event, and different things. I'll put the link in the description below. But some of the best comics to read is, you know, Moon Knight Spotlight, which is from 1971, issue 28 and 29. 1980s Moon Knight, issue 1 through 38, by Doug Munch and Bill Sinkwich. Totally butchered that. 2006's Moon Knight by Charles Huston and David Finch. Moon Knight, the 2014 run by Warren Ellis, DeCleen Chevy. And the 2016 Moon Knight, which I'm currently reading, by Jeff Lemire, Greg Smallwood, And then you also have the current 2021 issues, which is right now on issue 3, and that is from Jad McKay and Alessandro Capuccio. Again, I totally apologize that I butchered all of that, but I really hope to see you guys at the end of the series. I might be doing an initial thought of the first episode, and then at the end of it all, I'm going to kind of just, here's everything we saw, and really look forward to seeing you guys in 6 weeks. Of course, I really can't get into everything in one short video, but if you guys have any other information to add on, go ahead and comment down below. Find us on our social media pages. Add on any comments you want on there, any suggestions you want to see. Really look forward to seeing this with you guys. I'm really excited for the series to come out. As always, subscribe. Until next time.